and I'm jumping.
This is 1340 WJOL. We are Will County's News Talk Sports. Time for another edition of Money Talks, brought to you by the NuMark Credit Union. What to know about a home equity line of credit will be the topic that we discuss today. Before we get into the topic, I'd like to remind you that you can dream bigger during NuMark Credit Union's home improvement sale. For a limited time, enjoy a low intro rate on their interest-only home equity line of credit. Use your savings to make home improvements, finance higher education, take a trip, and more. NuMark Credit Union has options for you, so call them at 815-729-3211 or visit NuMarkCU.org. That's NuMarkCU.org. Equal housing opportunity lender. NuMark Credit Union, where you are family. We'd also like to remind you that at the end of the show, we're going to be giving away a $25 Visa gift card, compliments of NuMark Credit Union. Just listen for the next several minutes. We are going to say something that is, wow, kind of like mind-blowing. And if you hear it, make sure you, well, I have to ask the question first. When you hear something and then you hear me ask the question, you're going to be the first correct caller on the Turk Furniture studio line at 254-7300. And voila, you will be locked and loaded and ready to win a $25 Visa gift card. Without further ado, the Director of Sales and Service for NuMark is Matt Bretz. Hi, Matt. How are you doing today, sir?
Good morning, Scott. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for coming on. And Mack Story is here, operations trainer, and he is an IRA administrator. Hi, Mack. Welcome back.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks, guys, for coming on. We really appreciate it. Well, let's jump right in here. And, Mack, we'll go ahead and start with you. You are the union's operations trainer, IRA administrator. Tell us a little bit about your role, what you do every day at NuMark.
I am the operations trainer, so I train all the new hires that come into the credit union, plus any existing member employees that need some training. I'll do that. That's what I spend my days doing, making sure the employees are trained.
All right. Well, good. And how often do you guys get new employees in? Is it, pretty frequently you're dealing with new employees?
It's not that frequent, but we do have some positions available right now, so it's at least once a month.
Okay. All right. That's good. It's interesting because we've done this show for a long time, and we talk to a lot of folks that we're familiar with, which leads me to believe that NuMark's a pretty good place to work.
I would agree with that statement. It is a great place to work.
All right, good. All right, well, what about you, Mr. Bretz? You are the Director of Sales and Service. What does that entail?
For the most part, I work with our frontline staff on training as well and development and really focusing on working with our frontline staff and how we can identify opportunities to help our members achieve financial success. So it's a little grayer in terms of how we do that, but it's really working with them on a daily basis to help our members.
Okay, I like that. All right, guys, well, let's get into this here. Heloc is what it's referred to as in the business, for those of you that are in the business, but those of us that are outside, we call them home equity lines of credit. Mack, we'll start with you. Describe what a Heloc is, please.
HELOC, a home equity line of credit, that is a loan that you use the equity in your home, and you do basically a second mortgage on that to get the equity out of the house to use that for whatever you need to use that for.
Okay. All right. Matt, are there specific qualifications for someone who wants to have a home equity line of credit and open one up?
Well, one of the first things that we have to look at is how much equity you have in your home, and I think Mack's going to talk about how that gets figured out in a little bit. But with it being considered a home loan, we also review what's called a title search of the property, and that looks at any liens that are currently on the house. And then we also base the approval of the loan off of your income and your credit report. So those are the initial qualifications that we're looking for to establish a line of credit for someone.
Gotcha. Matt, can you get into specifics on equity and how it relates to your home equity line of credit?
Yes. The equity is the difference between what you owe on your mortgage and what your home is currently worth. So whatever the value is of your home, and you subtract your mortgage and what you owe on that mortgage, that is your equity that's available in your home.
Okay, so it's basically, to put it in layman's terms, your equity, so what your home is worth and what you've paid on it so far, and that's kind of where we're at, right?
Yes, That's the difference.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Matt, how do you find out the value of your home? Because that's where you have to start in all of this. How much is my home worth?
Yeah, definitely. And, the values can fluctuate over time, but there's a lot of online tools that people can look up to get a ballpark of what the home is worth. There's various online search tools such as Zillow that will kind of give you an estimate of the value, but we still recommend that a member would contact us to get an estimate because sometimes the online values can be off a little bit. Values are really specific to your immediate area where you live because really based off of what other homes in your area that are similar to yours have sold for in the last 6 months to a year. If we're really having trouble pinpointing value based on online tools, we can also do what's called a full appraisal where we have someone come through and take measurements of the home and really get an idea of a more thorough value of that house. And that's, again, something that the credit union would assist our members with getting set up.
Okay. And then, Mack, so we know the value, the equity. Give us a math equation, if you would.
So to determine how much equity that you have in your home that we can lend against, you'll take the value of your home. So if you use those online searches there, that Zillow, what Matt just said, you take that value and you multiply that by 0.80, and then you minus what you owe. The 0.80 is 80% loan to value. That's what we go up to. So that's why you can take the value of your home, multiply by 0.80, and that will give you how much, and then subtract how much you owe on your first, and then that will give you your equity that you have available in your home.
Gotcha. All right. We're talking today with Mack Story, operations trainer with NuMark Credit Union, IRA administrator as well. Matt Bretz, director of sales and service. This is Money Talk. Make sure you keep listening closely because they may have already given you the answer for the $25 Visa gift card, courtesy of our friends at NuMark Credit Union. Matt, let's talk about the difference between home equity line of credit and a personal loan. What are the differences?
So a personal loan typically has a higher interest rate because there's no collateral or security that the lender can hold to provide the loan. A HELOC is more secure for a lender because a lien is placed on the title to the house. Additionally, a HELOC allows for the loan to be advanced and paid back throughout the draw period of the loan, whereas a personal loan is considered a closed-end loan. So once you pay that back, you can't borrow against the loan again. You would have to reapply for a new personal loan to obtain more funds.
Aha. Okay. Can you have both at the same time?
Absolutely. Yep, you can. Because one is based off of the equity that's available for the house, but then you can also qualify for a personal loan as well, given all of your income and your credit worthiness too.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. What are the different types of things, Mack, that you can use a home equity line of credit for? Are there things you obviously you can use them for, but are there just as important things you can't use them for?
There are a lot of things that you can use a home equity for. You can use it for home improvements. You can pay for college tuition. So if you've got some kids that are going off to college here soon, you can use that to do the college tuition. You can also use it to reduce your monthly payments. You can pay off your credit card debt. So if you have some credit card debt out there, you can use that to pay it off, and then you have one monthly payment as opposed to paying different credit cards. You can also plan a vacation. You can use it to go on vacation. There's many, many, many different things that you can use this home equity line of credit for.
Okay. Guys, what do you need to apply? How do you get this process started? Matt, we'll go with you on this one.
So because this is considered a home loan, if you've ever gotten a mortgage, you know that there's a little bit of paperwork involved to provide documentation qualifying for that loan. So usually what you would need to gather up before you apply is your pay stubs, your W-2s, information about your homeowner's insurance. We usually ask for like a tax bill just to make sure that everything is current with real estate taxes. We provide a kind of a nice, clean checklist for our members to know what they need to gather and find ways to make it convenient to get that application started.
Okay. And how long does the whole process take from start to finish? Once you fill out that application, make that initial contact, and then, make sure everything is okay, and then you actually get the line?
We can turn things around pretty quickly, from an application to a closing, especially if an appraisal is not needed. Usually within a couple of weeks, I would say, is the average turnaround time, where if everything is collected and all the reports come back that we need from parties, we can typically turn them around within 2 to 3 weeks on average, I would say.
Nice. Very, very nice. 2 to 3 weeks, fantastic. What about if you get denied? Is there a way to fix some things that were, I guess, the reason or reasons for the denial? That obviously is going to take a little time, but have you seen someone come in, apply, and they're not ready for it yet? Do you give them, good instructions on what to do to get ready for it the next time they apply?
Yeah, absolutely. We always try to look at, what's going on that might have hindered us being able to approve the loan, and create a plan for our members to say, these are the things that we can help you do to get an approval in the future, whether maybe there's some issues on their credit report where they need to pay off collection or pay, a payment that might have been past due. We'll come up with a plan to say, here are the things that we might need to work on positioning you for so that we can do this for you in the future.
Okay. Mack, what are the draw and repayment periods for this type of line of credit?
Our home equity line of credit, it's an interest only. So your monthly payment is just based on what interest you owe at the time. Obviously, you can pay more than the minimum payment, but that's what the minimum payment is just the interest that's owed. And the draw period on that is 10 years. So your line of credit is open for 10 years, and you can draw on it, pay it off, draw on it again, pay it off. You can use it for those 10 years. Once the 10 years is up, the draw period is over, but you have another 20 years to pay it off. So it's 30 years total.
Okay. And what about that term? Once it's over, Matt, can you renew it?
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you're finished with your draw period and now you're in the repayment mode, if you decided, I'd really like to take advantage of drawing on the equity in my house again, we can always look at establishing a new line of credit. And if you still owed a balance where you're trying to pay that off, we can create a new line of credit and pay off that existing amount that's owed. And then hopefully by that point, your house value is even higher. So maybe we can even increase the line of credit amount for other needs that you might have. Okay,
that makes good sense. Mack, just kind of an overview here, just a little bit. Some of the benefits of having that home equity line of credit. I'm sure you've got some anecdotal evidence that it can be a really helpful thing to some families.
It can. Some of the benefits are it lowers your monthly payments as well. So if you've got, like I said before, those credit cards out there, everything, and you're, making the payments on those, combine it and pay those off, and then you have a small minimum payment, just one payment, so it'll reduce your monthly payments. As well as, and you'll want to check with a tax advisor on this, you can deduct sometimes the interest that you pay on a home equity because it is part of your house. But you will want to check the tax advisor to see what you can use that for.
Okay. All right. That makes good sense. And, Matt, we kind of touched on this briefly, but maybe in some more detail, if someone doesn't qualify for a home equity line of credit, kind of walk us through that process.
Yeah, absolutely. If maybe the first challenge is that there's not enough equity or value in the house, we can look at other loan options to be able to provide funding for what you might need to get done, whether it is a personal loan or in some cases, let's say that you have a car that is paid off and it still has value. You can almost look at doing options for taking out a loan against the value of the title of your vehicle as opposed to the title of the house. So there's lots of options that we would have if someone doesn't qualify for a Heloc, and it's always best to just ask our financial service representative other things that they can think of to assist that member with what they need on that lending side.
Okay. All makes perfect sense. Gentlemen, as always, you guys are great. Thanks for getting all this information out to people in a very concise and clear manner. We really appreciate it. If you'd like to get a hold of either one of these gentlemen, Matt Bretz, Director of Sales and Service, or Mack Story, Operations Trainer, IRA Administrator, you can find them at NuMark Credit Union's website. Matt and Mack, thanks for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Scott.
You bet. Have yourself a great day. All right, now I play Santa Claus. Now I give away a $25 Visa gift card compliments of NuMark Credit Union. Here is the question today. The question is, what is the term? How long does a Heloc last? Home equity line of credit. It takes this amount plus 20 to pay it off. 815-254-7300. Again, that's 815-254-7300. Hi, good morning. You're on WJL Radio. Who's this?
Terry.
Hi, Terry. Where are you calling from today?
Joliet.
All right, Terry, give me the right answer. How many years? Give it to me.
10.
Yes, there you go. Terry, nicely done. You, my friend, have a $25 Visa gift card waiting for you at NuMark Credit Union at Plainfield Road in Crest Hill. You know exactly where it's at, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, congratulations. See, it pays to listen, doesn't it, Terry?
Yes, it does.
All right, thank you very much, and have yourself a great day, and we appreciate you listening. Terry Perkins is the winner of our NuMark Credit Union gift card. And again, we'd like to remind you that NuMark Credit Union will help you with your home equity line of credit. You can dream bigger during NuMark's home improvement sale. For a limited time, enjoy a low intro rate on their interest-only home equity line of credit that Mack and Matt just described for the last several minutes. Use your savings to make home improvements, finance higher education, take a trip, and more. NuMark Credit Union has options for you, so call them at 815-729-3211 or visit newmarkcu.org to learn more. That's NUMARKCU.org. Equal housing lender, NuMark Credit Union, where you are family.